One, two. Okay, angizizwa ke manje sengiright. Sanibonani. Sanibonani. Hey guys, sorry for the previous video being too long to the feedback. So now we decided to cut it and start afresh. We are just waiting for Usis Promise to actually join us. Yeah, man. Welcome to the Emunah FM. This is State of Worship Address with the Duke on Radio, your mom's favorite boyfriend. Yes. Let's put my phone on silent so that everything would be perfect. Okay, she has just joined, and I'm waiting for her to request, and then we get to accept her. Okay, right there she's requested, and there we accept her. I hope this time the sound would be better. I hope this time. Yes, go live. All right. Okay. Yeah, she's about to come in. Okay. Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Yeah, now it's perfect. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm okay, thanks. How are you doing?
You're forever smiling then.
Yes, I'm a nice person.
Oh, okay. Okay, my name is the Duke. Now I formally get to meet you. Welcome to Emunah FM. This is the State of Worship Address. So it gives you an idea, State of Worship Address. And we've been following you for some time. And I know if quite a few weeks ago, it was your birthday. How was it?
Yes. Oh, it was very nice. It was amazing. Hey, I enjoyed it so much.
Okay, but sing
Yeah.
it.
A lot of things. Do you want me to then name them one by one?
Let's Mr. Cameron. Who was this Mr. Cameron?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Why are you putting me on the spot?
I'm telling you, I'm the Mekti of worship, and you guys don't take me serious.
Nalaba bangazi Cameron sebayazi. Why uso kanti?
All right. Okay, let's get to it, man. Am I pronouncing it well? Man, it's Emunah. Is it Emunah?
It's Emunah.
Emunah. What does it mean?
Yes. It means faith, unwavering faith.
Oh, okay. All right. On the comments, I don't know if you can see on your side, Kingdom Life Connection. I think Ubabu Chris Umpostol Gankos Uti Ipete Yase Cameron.
Apostle Benge does abuse this thing if you didn't make it, sound so wrong. But yes.
Greetings, Mpostoli. Greetings. Thank you so much for joining us. Emunah Promise. Who is Emunah Promise?
Emunah Promise. Oh my God. Emunah Promise is a servant of God. Yeah. I'm just a child that loves God so much. Happened to know I'm called for ministry at a very young age, very, very young age, and I never turned back from there. I'm an author. I write faith books, Christian books. I'm a worshiper as well. But mostly I can say that the core of my ministry or the core of my calling is in speaking or preaching the word of God. That's me, yes.
Oh, okay. And tell me about the moment when you received Christ. Take me back to that moment. What happened?
So basically where it starts, I grew up in church. My grandmother was a prophet. She used to do ministry of healing in the house and in the church. So I'm a person that knew about church, but I can't say at that time I was saved or understood exactly what was going on. None of those things that were happening at home actually wanted me to have that personal relationship with God until I was in high school. So in high school, every Friday we used to have a SEO. Yes, that's when everything started. So they used to happen during break time, and we'd be singing and we would be praying. Oh my gosh, my light. We'd be singing and we'd be praying, and there was a time when everyone else was quiet. Everyone else had stopped praying. Why is this one disturbing me? I'm coming. Sorry, that's my
No
son.
problem.
I'm coming. There was a time that everyone had stopped praying, and I was left alone. Then I was crying, I was worshiping, and that's when I realized, good to know, man, this is it. This is it. And from that day on, I've been longing to have that encounter every single day. Every time I'm worshiping alone or in church, I always longed for that encounter. And that's when everything started.
Oh, okay. So how then does your speaking, how do you then discover that you're actually a speaker?
I've been speaking since I was a child. Um, that's what I do. I've been speaking since I was a child. Public speaking at school, just everywhere, debating, all of those things. I've been known to be that child that speaks. And then when it came to church, big my memory verse. I don't know if you did that in
Oh,
Sunday
yes,
school.
yes, yes,
I
yes,
used to
yes.
be the child who's chosen for my memory verses because I could memorize very well, from this one to that one to that one. And as time goes by, as you grow up, you realize that now this thing lives in you.
Mm.
From a memory verse, from just memorizing that verse to now actually making it practical for it to touch someone else, for it to motivate someone else. You know, you basically give it life now to someone else. I think I realized that now. Early varsity, yes, early varsity. I think my first year of varsity because I used to have I'm a prayer cells
Mm.
areas. Yes, every Tuesday I used to have prayer cells areas, and they grew to be big and big and big. So that's when I realized, basically, this is where God wants me. And yeah.
But answer to that call at the age you were at, so say rest, there's a lot of distractions as corner, and then you just choose to live a Christian life. What was it that pushed you to actually
It,
go
it
for
was
that?
yes, it was challenging. I think what pushed me is that that's basically the life I know.
Oh,
That's the life. Yes, if I had to switch to something else, because I was a naughty child at some point. I would go to groove, I would go clubbing, while I was at school, but I'd get tired. Phakathi kobusuku, now I want to go and sleep. I think I think the most embarrassing moment I've ever had, go groove. We were in Senton. I forgot the name of the club. We're in Senton. From hip hop, then they switched to gospel. And yeah, things went bad for me.
what? Wesijuba.
Things went so bad for me. Like I was in deep worship. To them, it was just a song. But to
No,
me, I was in deep worship. I was crying there, like I was deep
no.
into it. Plus, bese kune percentage in my body. And
Yeah.
then I thought, yeah, this is the most embarrassing moment because ubuyimi manje buvela everywhere, even in places where I can't even hide it
Oh
anymore.
my
But
word.
a lot of people knew, even the friends I went out with, they knew, they understood me. And this is why then when I had ama prayer cells, res, they would come. They would be the ones that are inviting other people also because they knew who I am. Yeah.
Okay, so you're clubbing and all that. We stop at any into your club. When do you actually make a decision to try? No, sing right ngale life.
Yeah, I think for Mina it didn't work out for too long. It didn't work out for too long because also ngimuntu also like crowd, ne? I
Oh, that's
think
the problem.
yes, yeah. So once kwagcwala kakhulu nje around mina, you will probably think I'm moody or otherwise, or I'm picking up energy, whatever that you call it. So that's the one reason that clubbing wouldn't work for me.
Hmm.
Besides every other reason, just in inking a crowd, it wouldn't work for me. So if I'm go crowd, then if there's a crowd, I need to be far from people, and then what's the point of going there? Also, now when the Holy Spirit lives in you, He changes everything about you. you can never be the person that you used to be once you have an encounter. It's highly impossible. The things that you used to love, you will no longer love them. Yeah. So it's not a matter where I had to force myself to, I want to come out of this. None of that. It just happened.
And you obviously then get to a point where you want to testify about this God, not just to be there, ubanjwa amandla, and roll down and pray and cry. Into pushayo at that time. Yini ukuthi no man, ngifuna ukukhuluma manje. I just want to talk about this God.
It's the practical, oh my gosh, it's the reality of what I see happening in my life about God. I'm one of the people that had the most challenging childhood growing up. It was very challenging for me. But in all of that, I've seen the grace of God. I've seen the grace of God throughout my whole life, basically primary school, high school, tertiary, and even now as I'm old. And there is no way I can keep quiet about it. I bump into people that go through the same challenges that I went through, you know, or sometimes people remind me. I had an event not so long ago, and one of the people who was singing there reminded me, remember there was a time it was your birthday and you were in bed. You spent your birthday in bed because you were injured. You know, you almost got shot. All of those things. When they remind me of those things, then I remember the grace of God. And that's what pushes me to preach to people. That's what pushes me to want to show people ukuthi kuyaphileka, kuyahambeka kule ndlela. Yes, it might be difficult, but kuyahambeka because God is always there for you. You know, the fact that you're going through challenges, trials, tribulations, it doesn't mean that He's not there.
All right. Then you decide to be a writer. Which one came first? Ukhulumile kuqala or ubhalile kuqala? Kwenzakaleni?
Okay, ngikhulumile kuqala. Then I started writing.
Then writing yakho, what came to mind? Why the need for you to ubhale?
Okay, speaking, I'm just going to highlight the difference between when you speak and when you write, or when you are being interviewed and when you write about something or a situation. When I speak to you right now, there are a whole lot of things that I can omit due to who's watching at the time. Do you understand? It's trying to move away from the feeling of right now. But when I write, I'm alone. When I write, kulaphi emotion yonke iphuma khona, because you might ask me something that is extremely sensitive and I'm gonna cry. Do you understand? Omit that part. However, when I write, I let it all out. And the reason I wrote my first book is because I realized if I can talk about the story or the issue, preaching it's probably going to reach the audience that will be there at that time. But I wanted to reach as many people as possible. So then let me rather write. Let me write because I know that this book is going to reach someone else who is very far from where I am right now. Even after some years, that will not expire. What I'm going through right now, someone else is still going to go through 10 years later. This book is not going to expire. It's still going to touch, heal, and help someone else that's going through that later in life. Yes, that's what pushed me to actually write.
Wow. So how many books do you have at the moment?
Two. I've got 2 books. Yeah, my latest one is this one, Easily Misunderstood.
Oh, Easily Misunderstood. You have seen that. The first one, tell me about the first one. What's going on in there? Just highlights of it.
Okay, the first book is called Repositioned. Meeting the equilibrium point. So basically this book is about being brought back to the perfect will of God after the fall. Yeah. So we fall, and then what next? How do I come back? You know, what do I expect when I come back to my position? Yeah, it's basically about that. I did fall, you know. I mean, the Bible does say that a righteous man will fall, you know, 7 times, but he will get back up. Yes, so I speak about the possibilities of a person falling, but the guarantee that he will definitely get back again.
You speak like someone, I can see the passion in you. You speak like someone who's been through things, and that's what pushes you to actually write. That's what pushes you to worship. That's what pushes you to speak. Do you maybe have, not a sensitive one, maybe have a story to share where you saw God in a situation? I know you always see God in situations, but if you can tell me a story where would like, you know what, yabona kule situation, I had thought, I know I will not survive this one, but I saw God, pulling me through that. Which one can you think of on top of your head?
Yep. Yeah, I do have a story. I do have a story. And it always comes up actually in these interviews.
Okay.
Shoo, there was a point in my life where I was poisoned. You know, when there's a scripture that says we will eat poison and it will not kill us, I can testify to actually saying that is very true. I was poisoned more than once by different people. And even to this date, I don't even know if those people then bayasangana or bayazana. I found it kind of impossible that these people from different places could all want to do the same thing to me. Yes, I've been poisoned, and on top of being poisoned, ngengadliswa, ugliswa. I don't know what you call in the language. Yes, and those are the difficult times of my life, because I got sick. I got sick because of poison. My throat to the bottom of my chest for a long time has not healed 100% properly. And this is why at times then when I need to scream, shout when I'm preaching, or even when I'm singing, I realized that I cannot hit that note that I used to hit, because when I was throwing up because of this thing, it affected my health in a very drastic way. But all I can say still is that I have seen the hand of God in my life. I've seen God in an amazing way, because most of the people that went through the same situation I went through died. I mean, my mom was killed the same way at the age of 26. My mom never saw her 27th birthday, Agayaz. And this is why then when I was celebrating my 30th birthday, I went crazy, because it's the grace of God. They wanted to finish me at 25. They couldn't. And they would say these things to say, you will not reach that age just like your mother. And by the grace of God, I actually passed that 4 years young. So these are the things that make me see ukuthi uJehova uyaphila. We are pila. In some instances, I wouldn't even know ukuthi I am eating poison. I would eat, then get sick. And when I get checked, I'm being poisoned, to a point where other people thought I'm trying to commit suicide. Other people thought, okay, uzama ukuzibulala. They didn't understand what was going on at the time. How possible is it that when you could be poisoned at different places by different people, abangazani, as we think? It's been a very tough life for me, very, very, very tough for me. But in all that, God has always been showing up in my life.
Into ekwenza ukuthi ungayekeleli, into ekwenza ukuthi every time you get poisoned, like, yini le kwenza unga-give up? What is it that makes you not to, because you get tired as a person, you get drained, and you're like, what's the point? Maybe this is my destiny, ukuthi ngivele ngife at a young age. Yini le ekwenza ukuthi to refuse, to actually die?
Yizo zonke izinto esezikhulunywe empilweni yami by servants of God that God has sent ukuthi bakhulume prophetic words unto my life. And also yizo ezingenza understand ukuthi why do they want to kill me so much, So I keep pushing and keep going, because I want to get to where God said I'm going. And if it means kumele ngindlule la so that someone else can be helped, then let me fight. Let me fight hard. One thing I know for sure is that I am not going to die ngoba kusho bona. I am going to die when God says, "Uliqedile ibanga lakho, you have ran your race and you have finished it." So it's not going to happen according to their terms, unfortunately. And I am not going to die anytime soon. So they can just chill, they can just relax. I'm going to keep fighting and fighting and fighting. Not just for me, but for everyone else that God has called me unto. There is something that touched me ngelinye ilanga. I think because healer, and this prophet says, do you know that when you die and there are people that are assigned to you, kunomsebenzi omningi kanjani kusamele uyenziwe now? Because if when ubizele labantu abayi-5, for example, that will be saved through you or healed through you or delivered through you. Now, if you are giving up or if you are dying before your time, then kune-job eningi ekumele ukuthi ilungiswe kuze labantu basinde. And that made me say, I'm not going to give up. Not just for me, but also for these other people that, I've been assigned to assist in life.
Wow. So just before we get to misunderstood, you said your mom passed on when she was 26.
Yes.
So I just can conclude that you grew up without a mother.
Yep. Absolutely.
As a girl child, how has that affected you?
You're gonna make me cry. It affected me in so many ways. In so many ways, I was raised by my grandmother, and we are ugogo, and this is not ugogo that is 100% with me. Abazalwane bayamdinga also.
Yeah.
So then you grow up basically in the streets with friends, whoever gets to advise you, wherever gets to advise you. But luckily, I had teachers that loved me so much. And at that time, when I was in primary school, I was a busy child participating in a whole lot of things. So I had tours in like different provinces that used to help me, that used to close the gap because there were teachers that were there for me. Music used to keep me busy. I used to play marimba in primary school, so I used to tour a lot because of that. Yeah, school competitions, those things, I think those are the things that made, my mind kind of distracted. But then you get to friends and umuntu ukhuluma ngomama ukuthi my mom brought me this and that. I remember there was a time I went to Grahamstown on a music festival. And we were all meeting in Davidton at Davidton Mall. So there was a bus that was collecting us there, right? So everyone that was in music, I was in grade 6 at that time, I remember. Wonke umuntu ulethwe umamakhe. Abangezanga nabomama balethwe abobababo, And there was no one to take me there. Basically, I've been independent from a young age. I took a taxi with my bag, and I did not see anything wrong at that time. But we waited long then because they needed to do a checklist. So we waited long. And while we were waiting, abantu, they're with their parents there, they making sure that they packed everything right for them, giving them extra money, getting those kisses. And I acted all strong because I'm thinking, I've been like this independent person, even at the young age, even in grade 6. But as I grow up, and then it comes back, it hits hard to say, at times you are this tough person because of how you grew up. You tend to be overprotective because you did not get that. Sometimes, like, I give him excess love that since he looks at me, he's probably thinking, what is she doing? Because I'm okay. Because I did not get that. Yes, the gap is too much, but you don't see it at that time when it's happening. You only see it as you grow up. So I'm picking up some of those things now that I'm older.
So that's what's called actually childhood trauma.
Absolutely.
Okay. Just before we wrap up, Misunderstood. Because me, personally, I got to know you with that book. Because babies in social media. Who's this behind? who's behind this book? Misunderstood. What's happening? Misunderstood. Without revealing a lot, obviously, because we still need to buy the book and read it ourselves.
Yes. Okay. Easily misunderstood. It's a book basically about everyone, more especially women. So, in the bottom, I wrote the alpha woman.
Okay.
So mostly, I talk about the alpha woman mostly because I believe to be an alpha woman myself, and I've been easily misunderstood in a whole lot of things. Firstly, because of childhood traumas, then they push you to be an extra strong person. You are used to wearing this cape and being a superhuman being for yourself. Then you start being a superhuman being for everyone else when there is no need at times. Secondly, when you are a person that is known to be firm, to be powerful, you sometimes appear as not submissive. So yes, I write about issues like that, issues that can come up in relationships also, because obviously sometimes men do not want masculine women. Men are looking for feminine women. Yes, so I write about those things, that if you find yourself to be that person that has a percentage of being masculine, this is how then you can, come back a little bit. But also this is how society needs to understand, because there are women like that, women who've been in leadership positions for so long. It's difficult for you to be a little bit softer, so you get misunderstood most of the time. Women who are beautiful, you get misunderstood a lot of time. There are times where you are invited to preach somewhere, and the church mother just looks at you snacks, because she's probably thinking, this one, how
Which
does my
one is
husband
this
know
one?
how to? Those things are realities. They are realities. You start getting into the podium, and before you start speaking, men are not happy. It's either they feel intimidated or somehow. So those things, Nje, that make us misunderstood, I address them, and I've picked on a whole lot of women in the Bible that have been misunderstood based on what they went through or just who they are. Yes. And then there's a scary chapter also in this book that touches deep about my personal life.
Okay. So how do we get your books?
Okay. My books are at Lifestyle Books. That's in Maponya Mall and also Lakeside Mall, Lifestyle Books. And also you can get them from me, whether you DM me on Instagram, on Facebook, or just call me on my number 065 936 0355. I also have a website that is www.emunahpromise.co.za. So you can also order the book there. There is a link where you can just order the book and get it.
Emunah, thank you so much for joining us, man. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
And
To you.
what should we expect from you for the future?
For the future, expect global recognition.
Okay.
Honestly, yes, I think that's what you need to expect, because I've got a women's ministry and it's in 10 countries, 10 African countries.
Wow.
So that's, yes, it's called Esther's Crown. I think that's what you can expect, because I don't think I'm going to deviate from what I'm doing already. Writing, worship, preaching ministry, I'm not going to move from that at all. So all I can say is that, yeah, let's wait and see what God wants to do, Ngami, because trust me, some of the things that God is still about to do, I also don't even know them. Every day I'm just saying, God, use me the way that you want and the way that you know how to do best. Yes.
Last question. Right now, at 30, what would you like to say at a 12-year-old you who is going through that pain she's going through?
To the 12-year-old me, keep pushing. Keep pushing, because if you fail, it's all on you. There's no one else to blame. If you fail, it's all on you. If you fail, get back up, but push again. There is no one that owes you life. Nobody owes you life. Nobody owes you any pity party. Nobody owes you anything in this life. So don't expect it from anyone. All you need to do is push because you've got God on your side. That's what I can say to a 12-year-old.
Wow. Any last words from yourself?
My last words to myself, this is basically a wish, to all gospel ministers, whether it's preachers, whether it's worshipers, just in gospel, everyone. Let us love each other.
Hey.
Yes, the fact that there's still some of us that are crying, they are depressed, they are committing suicide, it means askagabi moya muni. It means there's still an element of competition amongst us, So I wish we can support each other fully and vocally. It's a wish. Actually, I am praying that we can be there for each other fully. I usually watch hip hop artists. The way they're always together, because they are always together. Event you end up not knowing. Do you understand? The love they are showing to each other. Yes, I just wish and hope that we can be that, because most of the time when we go out and preach the gospel to people, but yes, but izenzo zenu asikhoni ukufinyelela kini and say this is what we go through, because you'll judge us, you don't love us ngokweqiniso. So mayingaqala kithi these things thandane thina ngokweqiniso, is going to be easy for us to love abantu basezweni ngokweqiniso.
Wow.
Yeah.
Uzodwa Mashlangu, I call a misproduct of grace, is saying let us love each other ngokweqiniso. I think she concurs with what you are saying. And when we say ngokweqiniso, you mean to be genuinely love each other, and not because of what we stand to gain from each other, because that's what happens, especially in this industry, where a person loves you because they can benefit something from you.
Yes, ngokukholela ama-gig uye kuphela umthandayo,
Yeah, man. Thank you so much, Promise. Thank you so much for joining us, and looking forward to speaking to you very soon. And all the best with the books. I saw you on a book fair you were doing. I wanted to attend, but at that time I was working. I was like, I can't make it. Because I saw the number of speakers you had. You had Ukrisum Postoli, and then you had Ubab Dinega. I was like, interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us, and may the good Lord bless. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
You're
Bye.
Welcome. Bye. All right, folks, that was Emunah Promise telling us her story. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed as I did. Guys, the time is now 20 to 7. At 9 o'clock, we are back with Pastor Apostle Theo Mogwena. We will be talking about irrelevance, Easter, irrelevance, Good Friday. Is it still relevant? Is it even biblical? We are going to be grilling him and getting all the answers, because many people have all got their own opinions with regards to all the Easters and Good Fridays. I've got my own opinions. So we're just about to find out as to what's really happening on my Easter, or what you call Passover, or what you call Good Friday. Check you out at 9 p.m. That's in 2.5 hours. I will be back. This is your mom's favorite boyfriend, the Duke on radio, and you are tuned in to the #1 radio station, Leandra FM, the state of worship address.